Hello, welcome to Beyond Borders Briefing, where we bring you the latest news from around the world. Today, we will talk about the shocking development in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine, which has taken a dramatic turn after Palestinian militants captured dozens of Israeli soldiers and civilians in a surprise attack. On Saturday, October 7, 2023, Hamas, the Islamist group that controls Gaza, launched a massive aerial and ground assault on Israel, firing over 2,000 rockets and infiltrating the country through tunnels and by sea. The attack, which coincided with a major Jewish holiday, killed at least 200 Israelis and wounded hundreds more, according to Israel's National Rescue Service. Israel confirmed that some Israeli civilians and soldiers were captured by Hamas militants and taken into Gaza, calling them prisoners of war. An Israeli military spokesman said that some Israelis are still being held hostage in areas around the Gaza Strip. Hamas said it had taken dozens of Israeli soldiers and civilians as hostages and demanded the release of all Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails. Israel responded with fierce airstrikes on Gaza, targeting Hamas offices, military sites, and residential buildings. At least 198 Palestinians have been killed and more than 1,600 have been injured in the Israeli retaliation, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. One of the airstrikes flattened a 14-story tower that housed Hamas offices and apartments in central Gaza City. The United Nations Security Council is expected to hold an emergency meeting on Sunday to discuss the crisis, which has been described as the worst escalation of violence since the 2014 Gaza war. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate end to the hostilities and urged both sides to respect international humanitarian law and protect civilians. The conflict between Israel and Palestine has been going on for decades, with both sides claiming historical and religious rights to the land. The Gaza Strip, a densely populated coastal enclave, has been under a blockade by Israel and Egypt since Hamas seized power in 2007. The blockade has severely restricted the movement of goods and people in and out of Gaza, creating a humanitarian crisis for its 2 million residents. The latest outbreak of violence was triggered by rising tensions in Jerusalem, where Palestinians have been protesting against Israeli restrictions on access to a holy site known as the Temple Mount to Jews and the Noble Sanctuary to Muslims. The site is home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Islam's third holiest shrine, and the Dome of the Rock, a sacred Islamic monument. It is also revered by Jews as the location of their ancient temples. On Monday, October 2, 2023, Israeli police stormed the compound and clashed with Palestinian worshippers, injuring hundreds of people. Hamas then issued an ultimatum to Israel to withdraw its forces from the area and release all detained Palestinians by 6 p.m. local time on Tuesday. When Israel did not comply, Hamas began firing rockets at Jerusalem and other Israeli cities. Since then, both sides have exchanged hundreds of rockets and airstrikes, causing widespread destruction and fear. The international community has expressed alarm over the situation and called for calm and restraint. However, there seems to be no sign of a ceasefire or a diplomatic solution in sight. That's all for today's Beyond Borders briefing. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more updates from around the world.